The first update we have today is centered around the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, specifically the buzz surrounding Adrienne Maloof. So she shared an Instagram post recently that really got everyone's attention. It featured her with Erika and Boz St. John, and the caption was pretty cryptic, just stay tuned. And well, that simple post just sent the fans into a total frenzy.
And Boz's comment, triple threat in the best way, of course, needed. Plus, Erika jumping in with the heart eyes emoji. It didn't just add to the speculation. It sort of clarified that, yeah, something significant seems to be happening here. It felt very deliberate.
Absolutely. And that immediate fan excitement, that's exactly why these little social media hints work so well. We saw comments like, please be coming back, And one fan even wrote, Adrienne is the original behind-the-scenes producer. She made the first 2-3 seasons of RHOBH so iconic, which I think that comment really illustrates something larger. The power these original cast members still hold, and maybe the show wanting to recapture some of that early energy.
That's a really good point. Her potential return, it kind of signals that RHOBH might be leaning back into its history a bit, banking on that nostalgia, the dynamics people remember. And if you connect this to other reports from earlier in August, well, those linked Adrienne's sons to maybe a Los Angeles spinoff of Next Gen NYC. So that suggests it's not just Adrienne possibly coming back, but maybe a bigger return for the whole Maloof family to the Bravo world.
Okay, yeah, let's dig into that a bit more. Because beyond the Maloofs, those reports from August also gave us some hints about the rest of the cast. It sounds like there's a whole web of relationships and maybe some conflicts brewing for the new season. What else did those updates reveal that, we should be looking out for?
Well, first off, it seems Dorit Kemsley and Boz St. John apparently went through a rough patch. But the report says they're now in a good place. Which, that's a classic reality TV storyline, isn't it? Suggest a journey for the audience to follow, maybe showing a more relatable side. And then there's the ongoing roller coaster between Dorit and Sutton Strack. That seems like it's continuing, providing that sort of reliable tension, that story engine for the season.
Right. And what about Erika Jayne? She's definitely been through a lot.
Yeah, definitely. The word is we can expect more from Erika this year, especially with Tom Girardi's sentencing happening. And she's apparently filming with a new boyfriend. There was even a rumor her son might have filmed something too. It feels like it could be a chance for her to maybe control the narrative a bit more now, shifting focus to rebuilding, almost like a PR move playing out on camera. And then there's Denise Richards. She's reportedly filming often. The divorce storyline is expected to be part of it. She's not full-time right now, but there's chatter she could end up as a friend of, meaning she'd pop up regularly but maybe not be central to all the drama. It's a strategic role.
So putting all these pieces together, the social media teases, the insider info, it doesn't just set the scene. It really kind of illuminates the groundwork being laid. Feels like they're aiming for a mix of nostalgia and new high-stakes personal stories to draw viewers in.
Exactly.
Next, we're going to talk about some very interesting insights from Tamra Judge. Tamra Judge recently had a really candid chat on Lala Kent's podcast, and she really dove deep into feeling like she's held to, well, a completely different standard compared to her Real Housewives of Orange County castmates.
Yeah, that came across loud and clear.
She pointed right at Shannon Beador's DUI arrest. She basically said, if I did that, they'd be crucifying me.
Right.
She even mentioned Gina Kirschenheiter seeing this too, this double standard. Tamra really illuminates her frustration, saying if she'd said what Gretchen Rossi said to Shannon, DUI is illegal, she would have been annihilated. It just... That sounds exhausting. Tamra also offered this fascinating speculation about Katie Janela's behavior, suggesting it evokes a trauma response. She mentioned Katie's background, being adopted, raised in a mostly Caucasian area, the hate she's received, implying there's something much deeper going on there.
Tamra's observation, calling it a trauma response, it offers this sort of psychological lens. It reminds us there's often more going on beneath the surface, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to try and understand a castmate anyway.
Yeah, moving beyond just surface judgment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of pressures, Tamra also talked about social media, basically saying it's in the toilet. With all the bots attacking people, she even brought up Teddi Mellencamp. It really is. Like the Wild West out there. It impacts everyone in the public eye.
Absolutely. It's such a harsh environment. And that leads us to why her son, Spencer Barney, doesn't film anymore.
Right.
Tamra explained he's just incredibly shy. And after he turned 18, the negative social media stuff was just too much. He literally told her, Mom, I just can't do it.
Wow.
It's such a contrast with her youngest daughter, Sophia Barney, who Tamra says is a total natural performer. And just to wrap this part up, Tamra actually decided to come back to RHOC after quitting earlier this year. She mentioned a chat with Heather Dubrow where she promised a change. Yeah, saying she'd be stronger and not putting up with shit. It sounds like she's coming back with a whole new game plan, ready to tackle whatever happens.
Interesting.
Next update we have about the recent Real Housewives of Orange County episode where a lie detector test stirred up a lot of drama.
Oh.
Okay, can we talk about that RHOC episode?
Mm-hmm.
Emily's Persian New Year party, supposed to be about new beginnings.
Right.
And then, bam. Lie detector tests for everyone. I mean, my jaw just dropped. That is one way to kick off new beginnings.
It certainly is. And a key element here was the setup, right? These anonymous questions from the cast, specifically designed to get to the truth, or a truth, about all this simmering tension.
Yeah, the tension was thick.
Especially around Katie Janela and those persistent rumors about her leaking stories. The stage was absolutely set for fireworks. And it definitely delivered.
Oh, did it ever? The results were, wow. Okay, so Emily passed questions about Heather Dubrow, Gina Kirschenheiter. Truthful about Heather's real estate connections. Tamra Judge, though, failed a question about being on the autism spectrum. That definitely raised some eyebrows. Jennifer Pedranti passed about Tamra and Katie Janela, but failed on her fears about marrying Ryan. Pretty telling.
Yeah, that's revealing.
Heather Dubrow admitted she'd rather be on Beverly Hills because of the closer commute. But failed when asked about calling the paparazzi on herself. And Katie Janela looked pretty vindicated by that specific moment.
Interesting.
And Gretchen Rossi passed everything, crucially denied telling Katie Janela or Jennifer Pedranti she was drugged or went to the hospital after naked wasted.
Right, that denial was huge. But what's truly critical here, the real bombshell, was when Katie Janela basically failed the entire thing, did the worst out of everybody.
That was bad.
And that put her immediately in the hot seat. The specific accusation that she told Kiki Monique, the blogger, that Gretchen Rossi said Tamra Judge drugged her, I mean, that's massive.
Huge.
It's not just general lying. It's allegedly making up a really serious story and spreading it. That's a major breach of trust, a huge betrayal in that world.
Exactly. And the confrontation that followed is so intense. Katie tried to deflect, right? Claiming Slade Smiley called Matt Janela her husband to cover for Gretchen.
Which just set Gretchen off, understandably.
Completely.
And that wasn't the only thing Katie was dealing with. Gina Kirschenheiter also confronted her about supposedly trying to make Gina seem racist over a comment about Asian designers.
Oh, I remember that.
It just illustrates these multiple layers of perceived manipulation and betrayal. Really highlights the extent of the damage Katie might have caused, at least in their eyes.
Yeah. So ultimately, Emily kicked Katie out of the party.
Had to happen, I guess.
And afterwards, Jennifer Pedranti confirmed Katie had lied about not meeting bloggers. And Gretchen confirmed Slade did call Matt Janela, but only to ask, like, WTF is Katie doing, and saying not to cover anything up.
Okay, clarifying that point.
So Katie's future with the group looks, well, very uncertain. Magazine reported this was her last appearance for a while because the others refused to film with her, though they did say it's not the end of her story on TV. We'll see.
Intriguing.
Next update we have about Gretchen Rossi's perspective on the ongoing roofie rumor and Katie Janela's actions behind the scenes. Gretchen Rossi went on Heather McDonald's Juicy Scoop podcast with Slade Smiley to really clarify this whole roofie rumor.
Yeah, she needed to address that head on.
She said she was completely blindsided by Katie Janela's alleged claim to Kiki Monique, the blogger, that Gretchen said Tamra Judge drugged her way back during Naked Wasted.
Right. So Gretchen's version, she reconstructed that original dinner conversation. Months earlier, it was her, Katie Janela, Jennifer Pedranti, Ryan Boyajian, Matt Janela. And Gretchen explained, she said she was just so sick after the Naked Wasted night and probably should have gone to the hospital the next day. She insists that was the gist of it.
A really crucial distinction. Not drugged, just extremely unwell.
Exactly. That's the distinction she's making.
And she was just shocked, she said, that this got twisted into a roofied by Tamra story. She also admitted, interestingly, to misspeaking to Tamra in the car later that night.
Oh.
Yeah, she put it down to being very tired, distraught, having PTSD from it. She even drew parallels to Tamra's own misspeaking moments, like about autism or FBI stuff, suggesting, these things happen under pressure.
It's an interesting defense, drawing that parallel. But what's even weirder, according to Gretchen, and really seems to demonstrate Katie's efforts behind the scenes.
What's that?
Is this detail that months later, Katie Janela called Jennifer Pedranti and Ryan apparently trying to get more info about that original incident.
No way!
Yeah, but Katie didn't know Slade Smiley was three-wayed into the call, and Slade heard someone else in the background with Katie. It suggests this deliberate, maybe calculated attempt to gather info really makes you question her intentions.
Wow, that is weird. And Gretchen initially believed Katie's denial about talking to Kiki Monique.
She did. She said she was like an idiot defending my friend Katie Janella.
Oof.
But that all changed when RHOC aired, and Katie suggested she wouldn't be protecting Gretchen and Slade anymore. That made Gretchen think, protecting us from what lies?
Yeah.
It just shifted her whole perspective.
Yeah, I can see why.
So, from a broader view, Gretchen's theory is basically that Katie realized the cast was onto her about leaking stuff and came up with this plan B to deflect blame.
Makes sense.
And it wasn't just Kiki Monique. Gretchen mentioned other bloggers claimed Katie showed similar stories. It suggests maybe a pattern.
And just to nail down that detail, Matt Janella claims Slade called him to say, protect Gretchen, hold the line.
Right.
But Gretchen strongly refutes that. Says Slade just called to ask WTF Katie Janella was doing and saying. It's a subtle difference, but important in context.
Absolutely. It really makes you think about all these different versions of truth, doesn't it? Especially in this reality TV world. And Gretchen hints there are even more lies from Katie that we haven't seen yet. She said, all of us cast members are catching her in weird lies. Sounds like this story is far from over.
Definitely seems that way. Next update we have about a significant financial loss for Heather and Terry Dubrow on a recent property sale. Okay, moving from personal drama to some major financial news. Heather Dubrow and Dr. Terry Dubrow shared a pretty big loss recently.
Yeah, I saw this.
On their new podcast, Between Us, they revealed they lost nearly $6 million selling their Beverly Hills home. They called the whole planned remodel a gigantic fail.
Yeah.
Pretty candid.
Let's break down those numbers because they're quite something.
Yeah.
They bought it for $16.1 million in 2023, listed it for $25 million back in March,
Right.
and it sold for $16.5 million. So yeah, that's $8.5 million under asking and a $5.8 million loss just on the sale price difference. And Terry also brought up the 5.5% gross tax in LA for homes over $10 million. That adds another significant chunk to the hit.
And it wasn't just the sale price, right? They mentioned all the hidden costs adding up.
Exactly. Money spent on renovations they started, designs, supplies. There was a guest house involved. Sounds like it just became this huge money pit for them. But what's really valuable here, I think, and a good takeaway for anyone listening, is Heather's advice.
What was that?
She said, vet your builders, get a budget up front, stay firm, and really do your own research if you're remodeling or building. A very expensive lesson, but clear, practical advice.
Definitely good advice. And Heather had talked about this on RHOC before, right? Saying Terry pulled the plug because of the huge renovation costs and finding asbestos.
That's right. She estimated needing, $32 million total for the place? Including $3 million just for landscaping? Huge figures. And if you connect it to their bigger picture, their family situation,
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense. Only their youngest, Ace, is still at home. They already have that $14 million penthouse nearby.
Yeah.
So this massive space, maybe it just wasn't really viable for them anymore. Even though Heather initially felt like the unfinished project was a failure, sometimes, practical reality has to win out, especially when the numbers get that big.
Yeah, makes sense when you put it like that. Next update we have about Christina Haack's divorce settlement from Josh Hall. All right, shifting gears again, let's dive into the details of Christina Haack's divorce settlement from Josh Hall. This just came out over a year after their split. 3 years of marriage.
And crucially, no prenup.
Exactly. No prenup always makes things messier.
So outlining what Josh Hall received, it was pretty substantial.
Yeah.
He got their Tennessee home, a Tennessee condo, and a plot of land out in California.
Okay.
Plus a serious collection of cars, a 2021 Bentley, a 70 Chevelle, an 82 DeLorean, a 47 Dodge, a Honda motorcycle.
Wow, quite the garage.
Right. Plus furniture, full interest in his business, his bank accounts, and a $100,000 payment from Christina for legal fees and other costs.
Okay, and what did Christina get?
She received their Newport Beach home, several other properties in Tennessee, her bank accounts, her business, 2 2021 GMC Yukons, and a 2021 Polaris RZR.
But she also had to pay him.
Yes, a lump sum of $300,000 on top of everything else. It really sounds like a complex division, a real untangling of assets.
Definitely.
What's fascinating here is that Josh had requested spousal support, but it was denied.
Why was that?
Well, Christina accused him of transferring money from one of her income properties. She argued he had a job and didn't need her support. Ultimately, Josh agreed to pay back any money he diverted. It points to, a contentious fight, but one they resolved.
Gotcha. And Josh Hall certainly had something to say afterwards.
Oh, he did. That Instagram post.
Yeah. Celebrating being legally divorced in Tennessee, he said, "Finally, legally divorced and a free man. I've always worked hard, kept what's mine, and declined handouts. Lesson learned. Don't marry someone who needs constant public validation and will use your personal drama for attention."
Oof. Pretty direct.
Hurt.
And a source close to Josh backed that up, saying the settlement was fair. He voluntarily declined spousal support and basically suggested Christina should send Josh a thank you. Said Josh couldn't be happier and was happy to never have to speak to her again. Sounds like a very final end to that chapter for
Yeah,
Anna.
it sounds like it. And they've both moved on, right? Christina's dating Christopher LaRocca.
And Josh is with Stephanie Gabriel, so new chapters for both.
Next update we have about Jeremy Madix and his evolving relationship with his sister Ariana, along with some strong words for Tom Sandoval and Sheena Shea. Okay, next up, Jeremy Madix, Ariana Madix's brother. He gave an update recently on the No Filter with Zach Peter podcast about his relationship with Ariana and, of course, her ex, Tom Sandoval.
What did he say?
He clarifies his belief now that Ariana definitely made a mistake with Sandoval. Said something like, "Given everything we know now, yeah, for sure."
Hindsight is 20/20, I guess.
Right. He mentioned Tom seemed like a really nice guy at first, but emphasized, commitment and communication being key.
Yeah.
It really demonstrates that protective brother thing, but also seeing how things weren't what they seemed.
For sure.
And he did not hold back his feelings about Sandoval now. Said he couldn't despise him more for how it all ended, really reinforcing his loyalty to Ariana, even while admitting the whole situation might have been blown out of proportion publicly.
Wow. Couldn't despise him more. That's strong. But it also raises an interesting point about family dynamics, right?
Yeah.
How they shift.
How so?
Well, Jeremy detailed that he and Ariana have actually gotten closer. They made amends after their mom broke her femur.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they rallied together to support her, and that shared experience helped heal their own relationship. He even admitted he shouldn't have said and done certain things when things were tough between them. Shows some real personal growth there.
That's actually really nice to hear that they got closer through that.
It is. But he also raised a red flag about someone else, Sheena Shea.
Oh, he used to consider her another sister, right?
Exactly. But now he questions if Sheena used him to hurt Ariana, especially after Sheena called him problematic. Clearly, that stung and made him reconsider their whole friendship.
Yeah, problematic is a loaded term.
It is. And the core issue here seems to be Sheena's potential motives. Jeremy wonders if she pulled him closer during her own moment, her own issues with Ariana, maybe to add some salt to the wound.
Ouch.
He speculates Sheena wasn't happy when he agreed with Kristen Doty and fans that Janet Caperna seemed like she was social climbing. So maybe calling him problematic was her way of subtly undermining him for that. It's all speculation, but it's his perspective.
Interesting theory. Lots of complicated dynamics.